Morning everybody, I am Meg from Loven Stamps and you are watching Maker Mornings with Meg. Today I have a treat for you guys. We are doing a card with the On the Farm paper. So this is one of the Sale-A-Bration items, which is in this little booklet here, and it is darling paper. So I'll flip my camera down and show it to you really quickly. It is this really cute paper with all these little barnyard dudes on it and all kinds of great patterns to go along with that. So including, this is, let me pull this one out. This is my favorite paper in the package. I think it is gorgeous. Hey Kelly. And then we also have this paper here with this fabulous scene on it. So you have all of these fun pieces to use, and we are going to use this paper here because I love both the front and the back, so I like to use both of them. And this horizontal scene here is absolutely ideal for our project that we are going to make. So we're going to do a DSP card base, and let me get this paper out of the way. I will walk you through the steps of doing this, including the cutting and scoring, some tips for where you can have panels overlap, where you shouldn't, and then also some tips about die cutting, because the stamps that we're using is, here we go, On the Farm, and it has these coordinating dies, which of course cut out the little parts and will also make cute scenes. There's like all these little like hills and barns and windmills and things like that, but it also matches the designer series paper. There we go. So you can cut out the little barnyard friends. And I have a tip for making that really easy for you too, so you don't have to place them individually every time. All right, with that, morning, hey Tanya and Trish and everybody. I love it when everybody says hello. So as always, the supplies are in the video description, so you can see those. Let's go ahead and switch here to our paper here, and I'm going to show you, first of all, I have this piece cut. So for our DSP card base, we are going to go ahead and cut a 5 1/4 inch piece height, okay? Because that 5 1/4 inch piece is going to fit on a regular size quarter sheet card base like this, okay? So I'm gonna show you one that I did with the bottom half of this paper, but we're gonna do this top one together. So just cut that. You can cut the bottom and save the scraps, and then you're going to score. And honestly, I should have put this in the video or in the supply list in the video description, but I didn't. This is the Simply Scored board. It is my favorite way to score something like this because I know that my score lines will end up exactly vertical. I won't have to worry about getting things twisted and so forth. So you're gonna score this at 2 inches. So like 2, you're gonna score it at 5, and you're gonna score it at 8. So really simple scoring. You could also use your trimmer, of course. And that is going to give us our zigzag fold like this. So the first fold goes across, and then you're gonna zigzag so that it all fits like that on our card base. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna switch this. We're gonna go ahead and stick that down because we've got that set. And usually I use my Seal Plus versus my Seal when I do something like this that's gonna, have some, I don't want to say wear and tear is not quite the right term, but it's gonna get some manipulation. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that Seal Plus so that I get a really nice bond. I certainly wouldn't want our card to like pop apart from the background. So there we have our opening and then our cute inside. The nice thing about this card too is that you can keep the front folded this way when you open it, and you can keep your card fronts in when the card is open. So lots of possibilities for this one. So let's figure out what we want to put on here. I have some scraps of paper. I have our farm friends, and this paper right here is absolutely darling, and will cut a lot of the steps for you if you want to just go ahead and use the animals without coloring them, so you don't have to worry about that. And so I have, of course, already cut out for us the cow and the sheep and the pigs that are we're going to use. But I wanted to show you this here, which I did with my dies. So when I put my dies on here, I actually washi taped them together because this pattern is repeating on the paper. So if I have these 3 dies all taped together like this, then all I have to do the next cut and get my stuff out from underneath is move this set of 3 dies over, get it set, and tape it. And now I'm ready to cut my next strip of the Barnyard Friends, okay? So it's a really great trick to have when you are not wanting to necessarily like move your dies every single time. You don't have to. You just have to pick them up and slide them over. So make sure you're taping them together like this, not just to the paper, okay? Saves lots of time. All right, and then of course you have like these edges here. There's an extra sheet and so forth. And remember, you can use these edges of your paper. You don't have to discard these. You can pop them, like you could have this cow friend here right on the edge of your card like this. And so it wouldn't look like it was cut off necessarily. I don't know, if you want pig butts for something, I suppose you could find a place to use those too. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and work on decorating this. Hey, Carol and Becky, good to see you guys. All right, so we have our friends here. And when I do this card layout, I really like to have sort of a panel here on the front. So we're gonna do our panel here with our contrasting paper. So this is also from the Designer Series paper. And it is a cherry cobbler base, which is repeated here with the back of our card. And we're gonna use our cherry cobbler ink. So remember, the more times you can repeat a color, the more sort of right that image all looks together, or that set of colors. And to do this panel in the front, there are great greetings in here for sort of lots of things. Thinking happy thoughts of you, today's a good day from all of us is probably one that I would use a lot with this sort of, you know, from the barnyard kind of thing. But sort of the main greeting was missing. So I brought in my new favorite greeting set. I've used this one a lot lately, which is something fancy because it has a happy birthday and congrats, which are sort of basic, use them all the time, but it also has a coordinating set of dies here. So this is the Something Fancy die set. This is in the mini catalog. And this die right here is a great size and shape to go ahead and cut our paper here for the front label of our card. So I have, through the magic of television, done that already. And so this is going to layer here. Now, a lot of times when I put a panel on like this, I really like to have some kind of vertical element that really kind of emphasizes this front panel here so that it's a little bit more strong when I put the card together. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a strip of cherry cobbler cardstock. So we're going to repeat that color again and pop this under here as part of our card. So let's go ahead and put that on. I'm just going to put some CO Plus on the back of it, and it's too long, so we're going to go ahead and trim the bottom of that. It doesn't really matter too much where that goes. And then our piece is going to go here like this. So let's go ahead and put this on. Now for this, I like to use Stampin' Dimensionals, and this is one of those cases where you need your dimensionals to not overlap your card because you don't want to seal your card shut. So you could use edge pieces if you wanted to from your dimensional sheet, or you could just use individuals. And I'm going to flip this over like that. Hey, Margie. All right. And so I think that I've hopefully gotten my dimensionals in the right place. I did. So you can just double check from the back side and make sure they're not there sealing your card shut. All right. Now, where are our card friends going to go here? So we can open this up. We have this whole scene to work with here. We might think about where we want to put them, maybe like this. Maybe we'll save our little piggies for the front. Let's look at this, how this looks when we close our card. Okay, so if I close my card, let's zoom in just a teeny bit here for you guys. There we go. Ooh, that was a lot. We have our sheep here. Now, I don't know if I want him to peek out from the side there. I might want him to be a little further down here. And then I have our piggies here that are gonna go kind of like this. We're gonna put a panel in the front. So actually that's kind of cute. Alternatively, I could have him above, but then he's in the clouds when you open your card. So you wanna plan out your scene for both the closed and open version of your card. All right, and then we have our little cow under sticking out here. So let's go ahead and put our cow on because I think he's gonna stay right there. She's gonna stay right there. And then my watch says it's all good. We're all good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my piggies on here, but let's look at how we're gonna do our greeting. So we're gonna use this little happy birthday strip here. And like I said, the cherry cobbler stamp. So let's go ahead and stamp this. And then we'll talk about some layering here for sort of strengthening our focal point, which you guys know is one of my favorite things to do. All right, so there's a happy birthday. Hey, that looks pretty good actually. So I'm gonna trim this. I think it's a little bit wide. So I'm gonna trim this down with my trimmer. And for trimming little tiny things like this, hands down, I think this is the most amazing trimmer. And so let's go ahead and turn this way. Remember, that's the scoring blade. The cutting one is the darker. I kind of remember it by like, you know, this is like the light version of the color. This is like the serious version of this color, more intense. So it's the cut actually, not the score. All right, I like that a little bit better. It's amazing sometimes what a teeny little trim can do for something. So, all right, so we have our pigs to go on the front of our card like that. But I think we want to add a little bit of extra color interest, maybe some more design. So I'm going to bring in this strip of paper, which is the chicken paper here. And actually that's kind of a nice placement so we can have our pig there. Now I really like the back of that paper though, which is this chicken wire. So you can have chicken wire on your farmyard cards. And that I'm going to slide here. And we're going to add another vertical element to our card. So you can kind of see how these pieces are going to come together. So let's stick those down. Let's see. Actually, if I just use a strip, a dimensional strip of this, it would be easier to use scissors, Meg. But I'm not going to. We're going to make our life interesting. I'm going to use a dimensional strip across here. So I just taped down our chicken wire and then I'm going to pop this on top of it. Okay, and then we'll trim this. Do you guys trim your cards while you're making them or do you trim them all ahead of time? I think I didn't intend to trim that there because, okay. So now I'll show you, here's my objection. It's a little bit too matchy, but not even left, right, top, bottom there. So I need to either overlap it. Oh, I could do that. I kind of like that. Or I would trim it down so that it's a little bit more even. So let's leave it over there. And for something with a little element like this, I would probably just use my multi-purpose liquid glue because it gives us a nice easy way to attach something. So plus you can also shift it just a teeny bit. So we have our little chicken nose showing. And then I have our piggies here to put with our Stampin' Dimensional and pop this on like this. Okay, so there is the front scene of our card. Oh, we should probably trim this. Let's see. I'm gonna put it here. I almost trimmed off my cherry cobbler. Okay, so there is the front scene of our card. Now we still need a place to write on the inside of our card and we need to get our little sheepy friend on. And I feel like our sheepy friend would go really well kind of right down here, right? So let's check that when we open it and make sure he still is in a good spot. Yes. And it also gives us this sort of added benefit. I love when you can have your pieces across the fold in a card like this where you see so many panels at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and put him there. Remember, you can only cross the edge folds. You can't cross the valley folds. So the peaks are fine to cross because you're going to have your elements stick out and they won't get folded. But if you put a, let's see, we'll go like that. If you put a sheep in the valley fold, then he'll get crimped when you close your card and then he might not pop back when your card is opened. All right, so now where to put the greeting space for this. So I have a piece of cardstock cut. This is basic white. And you know what? Let's see, if I put it here, then it's going to show when I close my card. So this is not a good spot for it. Originally, I wanted to put it here, and I'll show you a card where I did put it here. But that covers up a lot of our scene here, right? I don't really want to put it here because that's over our cow, but it has the added benefit. I could move our cow of being here. The last possibility is to put it out here and I could trim it. But that's like a lot of space. So I think I like it here, and we'll temporarily remove our cow. Now, here's a trick for you. When you do this, I would not peel back, because if I peel this back like this, it's going to make our cow get bent up and it'll look weird. So instead, I'm just going to twist this around like it's a pinwheel, and it's going to shear that adhesive, ta-da, on our dimensional so that we can pull that off very easily. Oh, Becky had a comment. She said twine would look nice on this card. I agree. We're going to add twine to it now. It wasn't on my original, but it's going to make it even better. So, all right, let's bring in some stamps. We're going to pull our barn and our silo here. We're going to add a little stamping here at the bottom of our panel. Oh, let's put the silo in first. When I'm trying to fit something on a card, I always do the edge piece first and then come back a little bit to do the next element. So we're going to do our barn and our silo, and then we're going to use this little From All of Us greeting here from this stamp set. So, all right, and then we can go ahead, and my cherry cobbler is super inky, so I'm being a little bit more careful to make sure that's dry before I flip it over. And now I can slide this card piece in here. We already checked it, so we already checked it so that we know it is already gonna not show here. And here, I'll show you why I made that big gasp. Duh! Okay, so there's lots of ways to cover this up. Since I just showed you my trick, I'm gonna show you that it works for cardstock too. Do you see how I'm pulling sideways here? So I'm gonna pull sideways to pull that element out. And I'm gonna bring my trimmer back in. We'll cut ourselves another piece of cardstock. So it is 2.5 inches wide by, what was it? 4 3/4 inches tall, I'm pretty sure. All right, so that is why you don't stamp inside your card. That's why you stamp on layers, because it makes it super easy to, oh, I already have a good spacing idea here. So it makes it super easy to go ahead and take out a layer and flip it. If you stamp on your card base and you make a mistake like that, then you are kind of stuck because you can't, you can't take your card base out. So, all right, now always smush from the back side, which for this means like this, so that I don't do what I did there. Oh, hey, you can see both sides of our paper. There we go. Okay. So now we are going to put our cow back on. Where's our cow? Here she is, and she is going to still be here. She's looking a little big next to the barn there, but that'll be okay. All right, so there we have our From All of Us cow, and then our panel for writing and so forth. So twine, linen thread, is my go-to a lot of the time. It comes on this roll, and I've showed you guys before. When it comes, it's all like squirrely like this. And so you want to just run between your fingernail and your thumb, pad of your thumb. You can straighten it out by just running it along like that. You don't want to do it too hard because you don't want to unwind it. But you can do a real quick piece there and go ahead and, let's see, I think maybe down here. I don't know. Gosh, there's so many places to put the twine. Actually, let's do it here. So you could do it in a knot. You could do it, actually, it'd be cute here, but we've kind of covered that whole thing up. Let's see what happens if we tie a little bow here. It makes it a little bit more of a softer feel with a bow, but you could also do like a little knot, depending on who this card's for. And actually, you know what? I'll show you another trick. I feel like this is kind of wimpy. Like it doesn't stand out very much. So I am going to double it, which I do a lot of times with the linen thread. You get I don't know, a zillion. That's not a actual accounting term. I'm not sure how many yards are on there. But you get an awful lot of this stuff on a roll. So I'm going to go ahead and, hey, Patricia. Hey, Cheryl. I'm going to go ahead and double it and put it on here doubled, because that just makes the presence so much stronger. So let's get our strings in there. There we go. Okay, and then always like swoop down or pull down the bow sizes of your loops, because often too big loop will sort of dominate your card in a way that is a little bit too much. That's actually a little too big. So let's see. And I just clipped that end because I don't really want the double. Let's pull these down. So not in the sample will be this linen thread, because we just sort of added that as we went. So there we go. You could also put it in the back. You could tie it up here. Lots of fun possibilities. And I'm going to trim my ends there, but it does add some nice texture. It's not very blingy as a card. Sorry, Sue. So adding something like linen thread is a great solution. So there is the way it opens this way. Now here is another version of the card. So remember I said that with this paper, you can use the top or you can use the bottom to do your card. And so I trimmed the bottom of the paper, and here, Sans linen thread is the other version of the card. So we have, let's see, there we go. So we have our front very similar. I moved our sheep up here because when we open our card, it fit a little bit better there than below. So here is our dimensional cow. Here is our dimensional sheep and our dimensional piggies here. So lots of different ways you can use those. And the chickens, I didn't cut any chickens. I think there's a chicken in one of these papers that does match the chicken die. Is that right? Maybe not. Maybe? Yes. Maybe? Okay, here's the chicken die right here. And he looks like he will match the chicken in one of these papers. It must be this chicken. Okay, now that I've set it, I feel like we have to double check it because I don't want to mislead you in our chicken dies. Yep, there we go. So you can also cut out the chicken. So yeah, the paper is really pretty. Lots of great texture options and patterns and so forth. And of course, perfect when you have like sheets of it that you would like to use for a big scenery. So this makes a great scenery card. You can see I put that panel in a slightly different place here on this version of it, but you can mix and match and do. Now, if you're thinking, I like the fold, but I don't know that I would do so many on the farm, day at the farm, I think are the names of the stamps in the bundles. You can, of course, do the same technique with all kinds of different stamps and papers. So the stamps and dies are in this book. The designer series paper is in this book. So the designer paper will be gone at the end of February. It's while supplies last, but it's gone at the end of February for sure. The things in this book will be available. They're, of course, somewhat while supplies last too. So if there's something you love in here, don't wait. But the things in here are available till the end of April. It's actually, I think the last date is the beginning of May 1st. So just so you know where to find the things you're looking for. And as always, in the video description here are the supply lists for what you need. So your orders, of course, support my channel and my videos, which I very much appreciate. Also, remember that today is the last day of January. So it's the last day to place an order and qualify for the monthly tutorials and Loven Stamps to Go kits that feature the Country Bouquet stamp set and those first 4 Loven Stamps sketch savers. So you can keep an eye out for those. And place your order today. Any size order gets those PDFs. If you place an order that's at least $50, you get 2 card kits in the mail to make 2 of the cards from those tutorials. And of course, if you have an order that's $50, you're going to qualify for a celebration item, which is the exciting thing. So that's only through the end of February, and the celebration items are here. If you are placing an order online and you're confused about the celebration items and how to add them to your cart, I can always help you. Send me a message, text me, whatever, send me an email, and I can walk you through that. But basically, you're going to put everything in your shopping cart, and then in the checkout process, if you've qualified for celebration items, a screen will come up that'll say, hey, okay, now pick your free celebration items. So, All right, everyone. Well, good. I'm glad you like this cards. I think these little guys are kind of fun, and I love this card layout as a way to make the most of both sides of the designer series paper. It's just really kind of a fun fold and a fun motif. And when it comes in the mail, it's like an extra little, surprise and so forth. So things that fold out or engineered or whatever always make me happy, make me smile. So. All right, everyone, happy Tuesday. I'll have a video for you on Thursday with another project. Thursday, I will be introducing the February Loven Stamps monthly tutorials, and they are going to feature an absolutely gorgeous stamp set that's a little different from other things that we've used before. So it's a little bit different from sort of the usual Stampin' Up. And so that stamp set, let me grab it here, is Desert Details and all of its fabulous dies that match. So make sure you watch for that day. This is absolutely just like beautiful in the terms of, elegant drawing and artwork and great designs, fun greetings. It's a great stamp set. So, all right. I look forward to seeing you guys Thursday. And if you have any questions, let me know. So happy stamping, guys. Have a great day.